Welcome back to the world of World Championship Wrestling in January 1991, the dawn of a new decade and the start of a war-torn, sweat-stained, steel-barred future. The pages of Wrestling Wrap-Up open with all the confidence of Turner's empire in full throttle, a publication that knows it's the official voice of WCW, delivering news straight from the locker room, straight from the road, and straight into the hands of fans who live for the roar of Saturday night. Senior editor Dennis Brent greets us with fire in his pen, reminding us that this is the real beginning of the 90s, and the sport has never been hotter. The arenas are packed, the cable ratings booming, and WCW is rolling coast to coast, town to town, screaming, "This is where the big boys play," years before it became a slogan. Brent promises predictions for the year, the editor's achievement, awards, exclusive interviews, and the inside scoop on the wrestlers' personal worlds. And he delivers. He starts with Sullivan's Saloon. Fans have been wondering what happened to Kevin Sullivan after Capital Combat. The answer, he's retired temporarily to run a bar just outside Atlanta, a haven for wrestlers on the road where no booze is allowed for the boys and wrestling tapes roll nonstop on TV. Sullivan's rule is clear: no drinking if you wrestle. And his antics, as Brent puts it, are as crazy as ever. His segment on TV, Sullivan's Saloon, becomes a must-see where he interviews friends and enemies alike. But Brent has one request: please, Kevin, no more singing at the end. Then comes the story of Jim Ross, honored by the governor of Oklahoma, recognized by Henry Bellman for his contributions to his home state, a rare moment of sincerity in a world full of headlocks. And just when you think things are wholesome, Tony Schiavone drags a camera crew into the ruins of Al Capone's vault in Chicago looking for buried treasure. What does he dig up? Not gold, not bones, but a fabulous Freebirds LP left there by Michael Hayes and Jimmy Garvin. Even in print, it reads like slapstick theater. Brent signs off his opening column by teasing Wrestle War 91, the return of War Games. The double ring, double cage carnage that first shook the Great American Bash in 1987 will rise again this February from Phoenix. No disqualifications, no time limits, he warns. Only survival. The next pages turn into a storm of headlines. WCW television shows with Jim Ross, Paulie Dangerously, Tony Schiavone, and Missy Hyatt anchoring a national schedule that spans TBS, syndication, and every local slot Turner could find. WCW is everywhere. 6:05, 9:05, Sunday nights, Saturday mornings, replayed at 4 a.m. An empire of ring ropes and red lighting stretching across America. Then comes one of the magazine's yearly staples, predictions for 1991, a time capsule of optimism, sarcasm, and self-aware humor. The editors look back at their 1990 calls. Sting winning the world title? True. Ric Flair still world class? True. Lex Luger as champion? Not quite. Kevin Sullivan hosting a late night horror show? Well, close enough. For 1991, they foresee Ric Flair tying Harley Race's record with a 7th world championship. Sting potentially betrayed by someone close. Robert Gibson returning from injury to reunite the Rock and Roll Express. Tommy Rich being furious about losing his spot, and the Freebirds facing legal trouble for libeling Lance Russell weekly on national TV. The tongue-in-cheek crystal ball keeps spinning. Paulie Dangerously finally graduating broadcasting school, Terry Taylor and Flying Brian holding the TV title, the Steiners dominating singles and tag ranks, Sid Vicious reforming the Skyscrapers, the Southern Boys winning the U.S. tag titles, the Nasty Boys capturing gold, Great Muta's return, and even Teddy Long winning the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes. The predictions end with a wink. There will be a major surprise signing in 1991. Major. Then the big feature. Editor's Achievement Awards. Based on fan mail, phone votes, and pure WCW momentum, the results are printed proudly. Wrestler of the Year, Lex Luger. The total package complete at last, patient and dangerous. Most popular tag team, the Steiner brothers. Their double DDT off the top rope is the most terrifying sight in wrestling. Wrestler of the decade, Ric Flair, 10 years of dominance, 10 years of gold, 10 years of chaos. Most popular wrestler, Sting, the comeback king, the symbol of the new decade, Outstanding achievement, the Southern Boys, honored for charity work and heart. Most hated wrestler, Stan Hansen, the spitting, chewing, rule-breaking terror from Texas. Rookie of the Year, El Gigante, the 7'7" Argentine marvel who towers over them all. It's a Hall of Fame frozen in amber, the federation before factions, before chaos, before time rewrote the map. From there, the Letters to Wrap-Up section explodes with fan voices from every corner of America. Josie from Alaska writing to Sting, Dana from Florida praising the magazine's quality, Jesus Lopez from Texas demanding Lex Luger get revenge on Stan Hansen, and Dorothy Smith suggesting a 30-man match that sounds suspiciously like the Royal Rumble. Fans vent, cheer, and beg for WCW shows in Savannah and New York, while editor Brent adds playful responses in parentheses. One fan even asked for 2 referees in every title match after Halloween Havoc. Another scolds Stan Hansen for spitting tobacco. A bad example for kids. The humanity of wrestling fandom pours through every word. Then a sudden patriotic turn. WCW sends Starrcade to Saudi Arabia. With Operation Desert Storm underway, the magazine announces that Starrcade 90 collision course will be broadcast through Armed Forces radio and television to U.S. troops overseas. WCW sends a banner signed by Sting, Luger, the Steiners, Flair, Wyndham, Simmons, and others, a heartfelt gesture to the brave young men and women serving abroad. The text closes with a simple dedication. We wish them a speedy return. Turn the page and chaos hits. Ric Flair ambushed. A serialized saga straight from WCW TV. Teddy Long and Doom's war with the Horsemen. After Flair's offer of $500,000 for another title shot is refused, a bet is made. If Flair's man loses, Long gets Flair's Rolls-Royce and 65-foot yacht. If Flair wins, Teddy must become his chauffeur. Flair wins, but the next day, Teddy gets revenge. The photos show it all. Long driving Flair's limo down a dead-end street into an ambush where hired thugs drag the Nature Boy out and beat him down before Doom drives off in the Rolls. When will this war end? The magazine asks. At Starrcade, perhaps never. Then money meets technology. Yes, Mr. Wall Street arrives. Mike Rotunda rebrands himself as Michael Wall Street, complete with computer-savvy manager Alexandra York and her York Foundation. She analyzes every opponent through digital data and delivers printouts of strategies before each match. Wall Street himself declares, I don't need the fans or their support. I'll take over this sport through digital analysis. It's wrestling meets Wall Street Journal, and in 1991 it sounds futuristic. The focus shifts back to the icon himself. Ric Flair, a decade of the Nature Boy. A profile fitting for a legend, 6-time world heavyweight champion, Minneapolis-born, 245 pounds, master of the figure 4 leg lock and the most vicious chop in the sport. His toughest opponents, Sting, Luger, and Terry Funk. His greatest achievement, winning the world title the first time. The piece ends with quiet reverence. Ric Flair shows no sign of slowing down. 1991 will definitely be another big year. Next comes Luger's new partner. After the betrayals, after the beatings, after Halloween Havoc, Lex Luger finds backup, not Sting, but the monster himself, Big Van Vader. He said he'd like to crush a few skulls, Luger tells the magazine. And I said that was fine with me. The partnership is uneasy, dangerous, and perfectly WCW. The final printed voice belongs to Paul E. Dangerously in The Danger Zone, writing with venom and wit. He mocks Luger for trying to stand against Stan Hansen, the Motor City Madman, and the Big Cat, calling the Total Package a cartoon underdog finally outnumbered. When was the last time you saw an underdog show? He sneers. It's the Proto-Heyman style, brutal, sarcastic, prophetic, and it closes the issue like a punchline made of brass knuckles. A flip to the back and the merchandise pages gleam, Sting shirts, Steiner sweats, Four Horsemen tanks, Lex Luger jackets, El Gigante posters, and WCW VHS tapes of Capital Combat and Halloween Havoc 90. The mail order form sits like a museum artifact. Checks payable to WCW, 4 to 6 weeks delivery. Handwritten dreams sent to a P.O. box in Atlanta. You close the issue and realize what Wrestling Wrap-Up captured wasn't just a company, it was a crossroads. Flair still ruled, Sting was the future, Luger was next in line, and Paul E. dangerously was sharpening the tongue that would one day reshape wrestling. It was the last gasp of Turner's old WCW before the chaos of the 90s swallowed it whole.